count for 6 touchdowns, but Coach says he feels like this is probably a performance where you want to clean some things up from. Took you guys a little bit to get going, obviously. How'd you describe the way this game developed offensively and kind of finding rhythm, and then how good or not you guys thought you were kind of in the middle of the game when you scored 20 in a row?
This was a tough game just because of the kind of the situation. I think that we played okay offensively, but we just kind of, again, shot ourselves in the foot at times. But yeah, I feel like this was, I didn't play my best today, but fortunately the guys around me played really good to still put up some points. And so I think just collectively, it's nice when you don't perform well, you don't perform your best, you miss a few opportunities in the red zone, and you still do what we did on offense. I think that's a good thing, but still got to go back to work and be hungry after it.
On the right, James.
How do you feel about it, though? Because, yeah, you captured it there, but a lot of people who wouldn't have watched will say 77% completions and 400 yards passing and 6 touchdowns and 40-some-odd points. It's awfully good, but yes, there were 3 stops inside the red zone that you guys could have been 60-something points theoretically. Are you more hung up on the 3 mistakes, or are you more happy about the 6 scores?
I think in this situation it's important to hang up on those mistakes because they can be important down the road. And even though we kind of overcame those, I think in other situations you may not be able to overcome those with other plays. So I think the few plays that got to get better at, got to make checks, got to do what we're supposed to do, I think we got to get those fixed. And starts with me, I missed quite a few that in the past few weeks I felt like I did a better job, but today, for whatever reason, just didn't kind of perform my best at those few plays. But at the end of the day, a win's a win. It's awesome to go on the road and get a tough win like this, but still know that there's a lot of ways to improve.
Front middle, Eric.
How does, when a guy like Chase goes down, he's so vital, how does that impact maybe the headspace, but also just what you guys can do offensively?
Well, it's tough because Chase does a lot for us offensively. He does a lot of he makes things right out there at receiver. Just the kind of veteran experience that he has. When he goes out, it just kind of shakes up the lineup a little bit. But I thought Chris and Dante did a great job of stepping in and filling that role. Dante is, thank goodness we have guys like Dante who are still talented, extremely talented, and can kind of go in there without missing a beat. But obviously with a performer like Chase, you hate when he gets hurt.
Back left, Matt.
Running backs, I think, had like 170 yards receiving combined. Just did you expect that, and just what do you say about that unit's ability to make big plays?
Yeah, we expected it. We did a good job formationally and schematically getting those guys out, check downs. We knew they'd have a chance to be open, and Coach Dillingham actually said all week those guys could go for 150 yards collectively. Sure enough, that's what they did. They caught 2 touchdowns. They had a bunch of yards. They're just security outlets there. When they cover everything down the field, those guys are there and sure-handed. Those guys are just really solid in the backfield and going out of the backfield. And it's awesome. We don't just have one guy that can do that. Anybody that's in the game can do that. So it just makes us very multiple.
Front left, Max.
Bo, you've heard it probably a million times, but a big part of your turnaround has been how you've been able to take care of the ball this year. How do you think you've approached kind of finding that healthy balance with taking some shots and taking what the defense gives you?
You know, that, to me, I think playing quarterback, that's one of the hardest things because you do want to throw the football into tight windows. You do want to be aggressive, but at the same time, you don't want to be too risky. But I think just within our offense, we provide opportunities for ourselves to make those throws within the scheme. So, you may know you'll have a tight window throw on this particular throw, but it's not necessarily risky because you know where guys are still going to be. And so I just give credit to our offensive scheme. We do a good job of getting guys out. We do a good job of kind of schematically and conceptually getting guys open. And so the shots we do take, it's either they're open or we take checkdowns. So it kind of keeps you out of that kind of forcing the football.
Time for 2 more. Front middle, Eric.
Coach said getting stopped on a couple of those 4th downs could maybe not be a bad thing. Maybe you guys need to be humbled a little bit just because you've been so successful on those 4ths. First off, what took place there, and is there maybe something to that fact going forward?
Well, yeah, I think if you look, sometimes being aggressive like that, unfortunately, you don't make it. Just because as much I feel like we do it, eventually you're going to come into one and you're not going to execute. Even though unfortunately we probably could have executed the 2 in the red zone on 4th, but I mean at the end of the day we're just aggressive and it comes with the territory. I think easily we could have just kicked the field goal and taken points and it looks good on the stat sheet, but we want to be aggressive and that's what we've been doing and we feel like it's helped us out. And so our defense, when they got in those situations, they do a good job of kind of got them backed up and keep them there, and then most of the time you end up getting the ball in a good field position anyway. So we like to be aggressive. I give Coach Lanning credit. He and Coach Dillingham have great plans when it comes to that. And unfortunately today we just missed a few, but I think we also got a few. So it's the nature of the beast.
Last question, back left, Mac.
What do you feel like got the offense going? First quarter it was a little herky-jerky. What was the turning point for you guys?
Well, I think, when we've had the weeks we've had and you're just used to putting points up early and all that kind of stuff, we just relaxed and we were moving the ball. We just didn't necessarily put it in. And so the drive we went down and scored, it was just a reliever for us. We were allowed to just catch our breath and then move on. And we knew that if we just executed and didn't put ourselves back behind the chains, we could execute and move the ball. And so it's all about focus in a game like that. I thought we did a good job of bringing juice, and we were ready to roll. We just got to focus in on a few more things. It starts with me, but I felt like it was a good thing that we overcame that in the first half, because you never know, we may be in that situation again in the year, and the game comes down to us getting out of that hole. So I thought it was good for us. It's good learning points. As like I said, it's always good when we have our performance and there's a lot to build on.
Thanks, Bo. Appreciate
Thank you.
your time.
Appreciate it.